Hey boys and girls, so I want to talk now about putting numbers in standard, word, and expanded notation. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of a number. So let's do this number. So first we're going to practice saying this number, 30,856. So how I always remember this is when we see a comma, that is, you say that number how you normally would if it's by itself. So 30, the comma stands for something. In this case, there's only one comma, so this is 1,000. Okay, let's pretend we had this number. Now we have two commas, so we have our hundreds, then we have our thousands, and then we have our millions. So this would be 1 million. Again, look at this like it's alone. 730,856. So we're going to practice saying these numbers. That's one thing you could do at home. Somebody could write a number like I just did and just practice saying them out loud. Get used to the way that you should say numbers. All right? So if we want to keep this number, this is standard form. Standard is just the normal way that you see a number. Then we have word form. Word form is just saying it in words. So what we just did a minute ago was put it in word form. I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so I've got 1 million, 730. And did you notice I put a comma in my writing just like I do in the number? 730. And you see I didn't say 730 because and is left for decimals. And we'll talk about that in a few days. This is just 730. When we say and, it's like $2.13. That's representing a decimal. So we don't say and when we're saying words. Word form. 1,730,000. Oh, look at me forgetting. 730. Remember that comma stands for something. 1,000. Then I put my comma. 856. Okay. And when you have numbers like 56, 28, 99, that's when we put that dash in between those. Okay. So now we're going to talk about expanded notation, which is similar to expanded form like you've seen, but it really does help us understand our place value a little bit better. So this is what works for me. It's not necessarily the only way you can do it. I like to look at my biggest number, which is a 1, and I know my 1 is in the millions place. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000, million. Use the paper that you were given the first week if you're still having a hard time remembering that. So that's in the 1 millions place. So I always put what place it's in, then I put what that digit is. So in this case, we have one group of 1 million. We just have 1 million. Technically, you could put 1 times 1 million. This is just the way I do it. Okay, next is my 7. The 7 is in the 100,000s. So I'd put 100,000 times 7. So I'm saying I have one group of 1 million, I have 7 groups of 100,000, and then I'm going on. last year in 3rd grade, y'all would just put 1 million plus 700,000 plus. But this way, it's kind of helping us to break down the place values and say how many there are in each place. Okay, so next I have my 3, which is in the 10,000s. 10,000 times 3. This way helps you kind of talk about the place a little bit more. Put my plus. Here, this is a 0. There is no value, meaning there is no thousands. There are no thousands. So technically, you could write 1,000 times 0 because there are none. I do not write it because there are no thousands. Why write about it? Okay. Now, when we're writing our number, of course we need that 0 there. That's an important placeholder. We couldn't just not put the 0. It's very helpful, but in as far as expanded notation, there are no thousands, so technically you don't need to write that. So you could if you wanted, or you can just skip right on. In my hundreds place, I have an 8. In my tens place, I have a 5. And in my ones place, I have a 6. So that is standard word expanded notation. Like I said, get somebody to make up some numbers for you. Practice saying them. That is word form. Practice putting them in expanded notation. Your homework for Wednesday, your homework, your classwork, whatever you want to call it, is a sheet that's linked on here, and also you got it in your packet. So I did it a little bit varied. I gave you an example at the top, just like what we were just doing on our board. Sometimes I'm going to give you standard, sometimes I'll give you words, sometimes I'll give you expanded notation. So you're going to have to be careful, especially in the expanded notation, to make sure that you're putting it correctly here. So there are only 3 problems for Wednesday and 3 problems for Thursday. If you have questions, ask me. When we meet in live meetings, we will discuss these. And this will be something you do turn in this week. This will be something that's a grade. You can access it here on Canvas, turn it in that way, or you can drop it off to be graded paper pencil. All right.